the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
All right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Chase Thomas Podcast from still the aforementioned Chase Thomas, coming to you live from Knoxville, Tennessee, Everything School HQ. Joining me down there in Tequila, Georgia, my good friend, playing University of North Georgia alumni and host of the Georgia Voice of College Football, Matt Green, is here. Matt, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, sir. It is good to be back with you. Georgia coming off a bye week, but obviously still locked in all Saturday long.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice little Saturday. Today was absolutely diabolical for the Atlanta Falcons. Just absolute diabolical performance today. I'm still rocking the shirt, but it was
yeah.
We had a stormy afternoon here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and that felt right for what the Falcons did in Carolina. So Tennessee took care of business on Saturday, but Sunday, this Sunday, as we're taping this for Monday's show, was just rough. One of the worst Falcons games I've sat through in a long, I mean, obviously the Super Bowl is number one, but outside of the biggest of all time, like this is up there. This is top three of just awful all across the board.
Top
just
three worst Falcons losses ever.
Do you know what happened today, Matt Green?
I know at least one pick six. Was it multiple pick sixes?
No, it was 2 picks, 1 pick six, 0 for 2 kicking, couldn't punt, giving him great field position, couldn't catch the ball on kick returns, drops everywhere, couldn't protect, couldn't run the football. It was made Bryce Young in their last 2 games against Carolina, end of last year, this year, he looks like $1 million whenever he plays the Atlanta Falcons. They were 0-2 coming in this game, 30-0. Just, I mean, terrible clock management. It was bad in every sense of the word. Bad. It's a terrible afternoon for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. Also, that second, it was the Falcons, right? That second pick was like the worst return of all time. Like they had like 4 or 5 blockers, and somehow that dude didn't take it to the house. I'm not sure what. And then he started running backwards.
Well, he got kind of cut off. He did start going backwards. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we even got Kirk Cousins sighting in this game because Penix got
Cousins did play in this game.
Yeah, they benched Penix.
Wow.
Midway through the 4th.
Wow.
After that second pick, he didn't go back in. It was terrible. It was just awful. We had a delay of game coming out of a timeout. How do you get a delay of game coming out of a timeout? What are we doing? Just a terrible
I'll
operation.
I'll never understand the diehard college football fan who has their weekend, ruined by the Falcons on Sunday. It's like I've never lived for the Falcons. It's like, no, my team plays on Saturday. Sunday, I'm just a casual watching Red Zone. Like, yeah, very casual NFL fan over here.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Matt Green, we are here to talk all things college football on this very show. And week 4 in the books here, Matt Green, Georgia Bulldogs off. Tennessee takes care of UAB that we'll talk about here in a second. But kick things off before we find out how we did in our pick'em. We did not record on Wednesday. It was my wife and I's anniversary on Wednesday when we normally record. So our 3rd wedding anniversary. So we did not, unfortunately, tape on Wednesday. I did not realize until Wednesday afternoon that my schedule was like, oh, right, I need to change schedules. But yeah,
amateur hour over here.
It really was amateur hour, but it was a great night and great week. So, but apologies on that. But we still sent him our picks. Matt confirmed my picks did go in earlier this week, so they do count for our pick'em, and we'll dive into that and how we did against the spread as well. And then obviously our big picture stuff coming out of this game. So we're not going to talk about every game on our pick'em, but we're going to talk about the big heavy hitters. And of course, leading things off here on the pod divided on Vols and Dogs. But dog bites here out of the gate. Biggest bye week storyline for the Dogs for you, Matt Green, is what?
I think it's really just got to be the health of the offensive line. I think if there was anything that, I mean, there's a few things that held Georgia back a year ago. The receivers not catching the ball is definitely up there, but the offensive line just not being the typical juggernaut Georgia offensive line, I think was one of the weirder outliers from the 2024 season. So that has to be improved in 2025. And you lost a couple NFL starters, so it's hard to know if it is improved, but through this first 3 games, you've already seen, a few injuries in the right guard, right tackle spot. I'm not sure if Ernest Green is injured or if he's just getting benched for the way he's playing, or maybe he's playing that way because he's not 100% healthy. We'll see. We'll see how that, as far as that goes. But it seemed like, with Gunnar Stockton finally having like a really good game and a huge performance on the road, it feels like there was kind of a sigh of relief as far as that goes. It's like, okay, Gunnar appears to be good enough to get the job done. It's just one game. But the most important test to this point, the fact that you're not really, this game's with Alabama is obviously massive, and it's at home, so you're not as concerned about, is Gunnar good enough to play? I think there was still that legitimate question going into Knoxville a week ago. So I think just getting that offensive line healthy, like this, if they continue to have a revolving door in that offensive line room, like it's hard to see Georgia accomplishing what they want to accomplish this year, and that includes beating Alabama.
Are you wearing black uniforms this Saturday?
I would think not. Like I'm me. I'm as big of a fan of the black jerseys as anybody. I saw, I don't know, some fan account calling for a blackout, or if it's like the actual Spike Squad, I'm not exactly sure. But no, it feels like Alabama. I think it's terrible that they have allowed themselves to get shell shocked with that one loss to Alabama, and ignore all the wins they've had with the black jerseys. That's the only loss. They've had a bunch of wins. They did have the loss with the black helmet and the black pants against Florida in 2009, but it's probably because Florida was a significantly better team. Same with 2008. So yeah, I'm all for seeing the black jerseys, but maybe not against Alabama. Maybe just not do that this time. But yeah, bust them out for a night game. We should be doing that on a regular basis, at least once a year.
It's going to be hard for me to go back and forth between Georgia, Bama, and Penn State, Oregon. I was looking at this weekend slate is top notch, but Tennessee obviously playing in the afternoon. It's a good spot for Tennessee. I'm glad Tennessee's not at night, and I would not have to, because I would be really annoyed if I had to miss Georgia, Bama, and Penn State, Oregon at night, because Tennessee was also playing at that same time on the road in Starkville. But yeah, it's just a loaded slate. The perfect time for Mississippi State would be noon. I wish that was a Jefferson Pilot Sports special for this weekend. Like if we could do Tennessee at Mississippi State at noon, that would be ideal. But I'll take in the mid-afternoon spot for them.
This would be the first Alabama game of the Kirby Smart era that game day has not been at, also, by the way. And it's the
Where
first
is
one
game
in
day this
Athens.
week?
First one in Athens. So, what is that all about? They don't want to come to Athens? That's lame. Game day
Where
is
game day?
Oregon, Penn State, which is at Oregon, right? Or is
no,
that
it's
at
Penn State?
Yeah, that's the whiteout game and everything. So yeah, at Penn State, that's where they're going to be this week.
Interesting. Yeah, big time, big moment for the Nittany Lions, and we'll preview that. Do you rush the field, Matt Green, as a commenter on Dogs HQ message board if Georgia beats Alabama on Saturday night? Do the fans rush the field?
Absolutely not. Georgia's above rushing the field, sir. You don't rush
sick.
the field. You don't rush the field over someone when you're a favorite and you're ranked higher and you're the favorite. It's like, no, I don't. Unless it's like your thing, unless it's like a kick six situation where it just ends in some sort of crazy, maybe I'll allow it for something like that. But I believe 2000 Tennessee was the last time Georgia stormed the field because I think they became a program who expects to win since then, and not someone who's surprised when they knock off big time opponents.
Was that really the last time Georgia stormed the field?
I believe so, because just Georgia hasn't had like a massive upset since then, because they just don't really, not that that it's like they've been good every single year or something since then, but like, I don't know. One of the bigger upsets I can think of is like first year of Kirby Smart's tenure was that Auburn game at home where they were like top 10, Georgia's unranked like late in the season. But they're consistently top 10 program, and obviously even higher with Kirby Smart. So there's not a lot of field storming opportunities, honestly.
Well, I think part of it is you don't play Bama every year, and you weren't playing them every year early. And the other part is your main rival is a neutral site. against Florida, right? Like some of those maybe early on, you rushed the field against Florida, right? Maybe. I don't know.
See, I don't know, because it's like you think about Rick's first win would have been a Ron Zook team that he beat. So it's like Georgia was supposed to beat Florida a couple times, like with Zook and stuff like that, and still lost. But I don't know, that 07 game with Urban Meyer. I don't know, the players rushed the field. I don't know if they could have gotten away with the fans rushing the field after the game as well. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the first one. But even that one, it's like Georgia had beaten Florida like a couple years before that, you know? So it's not like not that I'm like clowning Tennessee for rushing the field, but it's like their program had been down for a while, you know? And so that was kind of that first like monumental win they'd had in like a decade plus. So and it being 15 years in a row or something, they lost to Alabama at that point. So I'm not trying to clown Tennessee or anything, but no, I think Georgia's just past the rushing the field stage. That's it. The kick six thing. I think that's the only sort of scenario I could see where like Georgia wins in some crazy walk-off fashion and people just go nuts and rush the field. But I doubt it. I think the hedges, I don't know. The hedges probably make it tough to rush the field. I guess other schools have some hedges.
Well,
too, so
I seem to recall a viral moment where wasn't it the Auburn fan who gets caught up in their hedges?
Yeah. So it can be done. You got to figure out how to do it, I guess.
Well, Matt Green, my team did play this weekend. Tennessee beats UAB 56-24. I'll be writing about it tomorrow, but we didn't really learn anything about this game. Like a lot of times people are like, oh, what did we learn this week about our team? You didn't really learn anything new about Tennessee, I think, from this game. And part of it was, I mean, the highlight, or I should say low light, was the UAB player who stepped on Max Gilbert's foot as he was going off the field. And one of the craziest, dirtiest plays I have seen in a football game in a long time. Thankfully, Max was okay, but that was crazy town to see that actually happen. That was crazy.
Bush.
And the fact that he wasn't ejected was insane. The fact that kid was not ejected, but
yeah, that's my thing. We eject guys for targeting, like hitting a guy a second, a couple feet, a couple inches below or above where he should have gone, and a split second off. It's like stuff like that. That's extracurricular. Like that's the kind of stuff you should be ejected for.
Well, and here's the thing. So everything that we knew before this game is still true about Tennessee. Tennessee's rush defense is still really good. UAB could not run on Tennessee. They average 1.2 yards per rush. Joey Aguilar has excelled. They're a super dominant first quarter team again. They scored 21 points in the first quarter last week. They scored 21 points in the first quarter this week, 21-0 after the first quarter against UAB. Peyton Lewis had his best game yet as a ball, which is nice, but I think Star Thomas is definitely their best back. All three of their top backs averaged over 5 yards per carry in this game. The big three, Chris Brazzell is still your number one receiver. He was your number one receiver coming into last week. 11 catches for the top three receivers for Tennessee, over 150 yards between the three, 2 touchdowns total for Mike and Chris. And then the defense was not good on fourth down again. UAB was 2 for 3 on fourth down. You still could pass all over Tennessee. Their pass defense has a whole lot of problems. UAB Kitna was 38 of 51 for 364 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 pick. And I understand part of that second half, you get a lot of the second and third string guys in there, but Tennessee's got a limited amount of depth in this game. And it just, Boo Carter is probably the one thing we did learn in a positive way in terms of just he had a great second half. He had a tough first half, but he had 3 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles in this game, 9 total tackles. Boo had his best game this season as a Vols. So that was huge for them because they're going to really need him as they continue to try and find some depth with Dermod and Ricky not being available. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you came away feeling any better about the pass defense for Tennessee. I think you came away feeling the exact same way about Tennessee's rush defense. They're great at TFLs. They had 9 TFLs in this game, 3 sacks. I think pass rush has been good, but the main 3, the receivers are great. Joey Aguilar taking downfield shots, the offense starting off hot, the running game just fine. Like everything I knew about Tennessee before this game is still true. Like nothing really changed. I was thinking about it coming out of this game, which is pretty rare, where it's not like one thing's different. It's like, no, this is all about what I thought this team was, but before this blowout win. But I think Tennessee, their third and fourth down defense and just where they're at getting off the field in key moments, and their pass defense is just, they have some real problems on the back end and giving up chunk plays. So I don't think that got cleaned up this week against a bad UAB team, and I think it's going to plague them as long as they don't have Dermott and a couple other guys back there. But yeah, it's Tennessee is thin on the back end, and I don't know. I think that's just something that's going to continue on going into Starkville. It makes me kind of nervous with Blake Shapen and company with Mississippi State's passing game. So I don't know. I think, hey, you take the win, you keep it moving. But yeah, Tennessee, the whole Dennis Green, we are who they thought they are who we thought they were. And Tennessee is still exactly who I thought they were, which is a really good team, great pass game, great run game, great fast starter team, great run defense, and then a very, very suspect defense on third and fourth down, along with just chunk play situations through the air. So all that's still true for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. This team, we've seen Tennessee put up big numbers in games like this, and this is another one. They were dominating an inferior opponent. They should be 5-1 when they go to Tuscaloosa. So this team looks pretty solid right now. I will say over this weekend, and maybe this can segue into our next conversation. Do we think more of Tennessee's win over Syracuse after this weekend, or do we think just that low of Clemson right now?
I think both can be true. Clemson's not nearly as good as what we thought, but also Syracuse is a lot better than what people thought. Angeli's now gone for the year, so that probably really hurts. But
that's fair.
So pour one out for him, man, because he was great, and he was good in the Tennessee game. But yeah, torn Achilles, so he's gone for the year, unfortunately. But looks like he's gonna be able to medically redshirt, so he's gonna get keep his eligibility for another year and all that good stuff. Because I think he'll have 2 after this year, so hopefully he comes back healthy and all that. Because he was a good player transferring in from Notre Dame and played well against Tennessee in the Dome, but or the Benz rather. My mom got onto me because I always call it the Dome, and she's like, it's Mercedes-Benz. I've noticed you always say Dome when you're talking about it. I don't know. I just 20 plus years of calling it the Dome. It's hard for me to call it the Benz, but that is neither here nor there, Matt Green. So I don't know. I think Tennessee, that win probably looks better, but I also think Clemson, we'll get to here in a second, they have real problems as well. So it's not all doom and gloom with Tennessee. They're a really good football team, somewhere in the top 15, I think, in the country. It's where I put them at right now. Still hard to figure out where exactly they belong. A lot of positives, but still some very real questions as they go on the road.
Is there any doom and gloom right now with Tennessee? It almost felt like that Georgia loss, like kind of the national conversation was almost more positive of Tennessee than it was of Georgia.
I think there's a split with Tennessee's fans about the defense right now. I think there's some who are really concerned about where they're at defensively and some not so much. And I think what will help, Jackson Moy and David Hobbs should be back against Mississippi State on the interior. They really need some help there. But, they just need Dermott back. And if Dermott's gone and Ricky's not coming back this year potentially, then, you're in some tough spots. I think the middle of the field has been driving Tennessee fans crazy because not being able to get up the field in third and fourth down at an elite level. They're just not as good as they were a year ago in that. And I don't know. They're really young. Andre Turrentine had a really good game, bounced back from a really rough game against Georgia. Aegis Farouk still learning. He's a redshirt freshman, the next safety spot next to him. And then obviously you're just super thin. You're playing a true freshman corner there. They're just thin on the back end. It's just, there's no injuries have kind of really messed some stuff up for Tennessee. But yeah, I think Tennessee fans are, everyone's pretty optimistic, but I still think there is kind of two sides when it comes to how they feel about the defense right now. So I think there is some frustration, especially in the passing defense right now. So I think there's still some real problems there on the back end.
Fair enough. We'll see. I think they look like they could be a really good team this year.
They're really good. Like I said, they're just not a perfect team, and nobody is, but they do have their weaknesses. And my thing is I don't know if some of these can get cleaned up in the middle of the year. We'll see. They really, really need Jermon McCoy back. That would be extremely helpful for this team. Matt Green, do you have a green line stat of the week?
My green line stat of the week is related to the Clemson Tigers. Are we talking Clemson Tigers right now?
Not yet. This is still just the green line stat.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and jump into it. Obviously, I'll have more to say about Clemson, but this is hold on. Should we just have the whole Clemson? I feel like this works better into the.
You
Clemson
really want to do that? No, we gotta lay it out and how we did in our pick'em and everything else. We'll jump into pick. We'll get to Clemson. We'll get there.
Okay, I don't even know which one to like is like the most significant, to be honest. But let's start with this, and then I'll kind of tease it with the rest of the Clemson conversation. So, the green line stat that I'll leave you with, sir, is that Clemson.
We still got a whole show to do.
Well, the one I'll leave you with, that this is the one I'll focus on, and then I'll expand on this when we have our whole Clemson conversation. But in the last 9 games versus Power 4 competition, the Clemson Tigers are 3-6, sir. This team is not being judged for all that winning they're doing. Like Dabo Swinney said, if they're mad about all this winning, he'll go somewhere else. So, yeah, I guess they are upset with winning 3 out of 9 games against Power 4 competition, and it's insane what Clemson's been recently. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. And the Troy game wasn't much better, but obviously that's not being counted here. So yeah, Clemson's on the strug bus right now, and it's not just bad for Clemson. It's legitimately bad right now.
Yeah. And we'll dive more into the Clemson part of it, because it's bad for a lot of coaches right now. And everyone's just diving into the buyout numbers. And you see Luke Fickell's, and you're like, whoa. You see Dabo's, and you're like, whoa. And then you see some other ones, and you're like, okay, that one's pretty doable. But we'll get into all that here in a second. But Matt Green, how do we do in our week 4 pick'em and against the spread going into week 5?
Some say, if you don't actually have the show and make the picks with the bright lights, that they shouldn't even count. Some people say that. So, take it for what it's worth. These might not even be real numbers. Who knows where we're getting these numbers from? But supposedly these are the numbers for week 4, sir. Against the spread, you had a slight edge on me this week, 6-5 to 5-6 for myself after 9-2 weeks. The 2 weeks before, 5-6. When the bright lights aren't on, I don't bring that same energy. And then money line, you blew me away this week, sir. I was also 5-6 money line, but you were 9-2 money line this week. So big time week for you as far as money line goes. You're now 31-14 on the season to my 28-17. And then I am 28-17 against the spread. You are 25-20. So you're right on my heels there. But yeah, and then Zeus's home dog of the week, Nebraska Cornhuskers. Couldn't quite get it done against Michigan. That should be the stat if you've seen the stat. I guess I don't have the stat, so it shouldn't be the stat.
0-29 in their last ranked
Is that
games.
what it is?
Yeah,
just something terrible. That's going back to
they haven't won a ranked game since 2016.
2016, yeah, brutal. So I don't know. I thought it was different for Raiola in Nebraska, but no. People are saying Bryce Underwood, that run was like Cam Newton-esque. I'm sorry. I'm not here to be a hater. Bryce Underwood looks like an amazing athlete, but like let's pump the brakes on the Cam Newton stuff. Like that was Stetson Bennett-esque right there with the C parting against Auburn. He just ran straight, like no one was there. But like Cam Newton, that run he had against LSU, Patrick Peterson and everything, like that's one of the more impressive plays I've ever seen a quarterback make. Like Bryce Underwood may be worthy of the Cam Newton comparisons at some point, but let's just pump the brakes. So far, that was just zero man basically, and no one accounted for the quarterback, and dude just took off and ran 50 straight yards, like, and no one even, it seemed like he was running for 30 yards before Nebraska even knew he was running.
It's a pretty good run though. Bryce Underwood's gonna be good. He was the better quarterback as a true freshman in that game than Raiola.
Absolutely, he looks like a stud for sure. Not here to poo-poo only here to let's say pump the brakes on the Cam Newton comparison. The maybe literal GOAT of college football quarterbacks as far as I've seen.
Well, it's also like if you've learned anything from this start to the 2025 college football season, it's that we have no idea what to do with any of these quarterbacks. All the preseason, like this guy's good. We have no idea season to season who's going to be good, who's not. I mean, it's just been crazy in terms of where we're at in the quarterback, just who's good and who's not stuff. So we'll talk more about that here as we continue on, Matt Green. But speaking of quarterbacks that aren't good, the Florida Gators fall to Miami, Matt Green. This is pretty crazy. So I saw this from Gators Country, Nick Barcinko. The Gators are 1-3 to start the season for the first time since 1986, Matt Green. I mean, I didn't think they were going to win this game. I had Miami winning and covering, but you can just see that like Cormani McClain had a great interception on Carson Beck in this game. Florida's defense was really good. And I think Florida
felt like they had some life in the game.
I mean, they kept them in the game. Like Florida held Miami better than anyone to this point. Like they played Miami really strong defensively. Like Florida's defense is legit. Like Florida has a top 25 defense in the country, probably top 20, top 15, somewhere in there. They have a good enough to compete at the top of the SEC defense. The offense is just an absolute train wreck. Like everywhere you look, DJ Lagway was really bad in this game again. The offense is just completely broken, Matt Green. So it's just kind of wild that I did not see that coming. It's just been a disastrous year thus far for Napier and DJ Lagway and company. But yeah, it's crazy. And it's also like a testament to where Miami's at. Miami, that I said before the year, hiring away that Minnesota defensive coordinator was sneaky important for that program because they already had one of the best play callers in the sport in Shane Dawson. Now they got one of the best defensive coordinators in the sport helping Mario Cristobal out. But Miami is a scary, complete team, Matt Green. And yeah, I don't know. I think you can be positive about Miami and that they took care of business as they were supposed to do, and also be like, it's over for Billy Napier and company. 1-3, but with all the bad years Florida's had, it kind of blew my mind that they have not started 1-3 at one point, because it's not like they've just been this model of consistency, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there was like a 4-win Muschamp season in there somewhere. Like we know about Napier. I mean, now Napier is now 13-21 versus Power 4 competition in his time at Florida. Like this is just kind of getting ridiculous at this point. And that's not even including the Power 4 stat, isn't even including a loss to South Florida in there. Because they're not Power 4. So yeah, it's insane. I want to toot my own horn a little bit for pumping the brakes on the DJ Lagway hype coming into this year. But even I didn't see him being this bad. Like 61 yards. Like I think Miami is legit. Like to your point, I think Miami's defense looks really good. Even Carson Beck didn't play very well in this one, and they were still able to win easily. Like I think Miami right now, you could make a case is the number one team in the country. So, that's not to just say Florida's terrible because they lost to LSU and Miami. The South Florida doesn't help, but yeah, this offense just did absolutely nothing. The fact that I would argue Florida and Auburn feel like the same team right now, that they're like pretty good almost everywhere except for the quarterback spot. Like it's kind of crazy that we're saying all the hype about Florida was how far can DJ Lagway carry them, and now it's looking like if this team just had a quarterback, they might be good. Like it's not like they did a lot well. Like they ran the ball well on that one drive, basically the one drive they scored on. But I mean, the defense looks legit. Like it seems like they're missing a quarterback, which is wild based on the hype Lagway was getting coming into this year.
Wow. I think Jackson Arnold walking off the field said, did you see that video of him? Did he say like, you wish you were me to the fans heckling him as he was walking in the tunnel? Like maybe don't say that after a loss.
I feel like we got to do something as a college football, fandom, just world. Like, look, these transfers are going to happen now, folks. Like we can't just be yelling F you like during these games. Like you notice they're going to one of these commercials. You could just so obviously hear it. Then ESPN kind of muted the audio because like you could just clearly hear them saying F you, Jackson or whatever they were saying, Arnold, either his first or last name. But Yeah, let's come on, guys. Like, guys are gonna transfer. Like, we gotta be
Yeah,
civil
like
about
if
this.
A&M played Tech, like, are you really gonna go after Haynes King for going to a better? Like, really? Is that what we're gonna do? Like, just be
It's
happy
like,
for him.
what,
You know?
he lost the job, right,
Yeah.
at A&M. Like, that's why he transferred. It's like there's so many circumstances. Like, did you even want him back as an Oklahoma fan? Like, did you want Jackson Arnold back this year?
Yeah.
Like, you got an upgrade. It's like being. I mean, I guess if UCLA and Tennessee were to play next week in Knoxville, I'm sure there's still bad feelings towards Nico. But it's like, now that you've like so clearly upgraded and he's so clearly downgraded, you almost feel you're like, okay, everything's fine now. Like, I don't know. Are you still hostile towards him?
Oh, that's the lock of the century. What do you mean? Like, there's no doubt that would be an insane environment for UCLA coming in here this year.
I guess no one really like spurned their previous place like Nico did. So that's a bad
That would be a
example. That's
hornet's nest. Like, that would be a lock of the century that would just be.
like
I mean,
if did Notre Dame didn't play Duke last year, did they?
I know
But
you're not comparing
but if
Nico's
Riley
story to
Leonard,
Riley Leonard.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, this
Yeah.
is probably more Riley Leonard-ish, because it's like, I don't know
Yeah.
why you even hate on.
No, not
like,
even Riley Leonard, because Riley Leonard was good at Duke. He just
and then he
upgraded. It's like Sam
and then you
Hartman going
upgraded.
from
That's
Wake
true.
to Notre Dame, where you're like, yeah, I mean, he did everything he could there, and now he's off to try and win a title on the biggest stage. Like, you can't win a title at Wake. He broke all these records at Wake. I think it's a little bit different because
It's like Kyle McCord playing against Ohio
yes,
State. It's like, you
that's
guys
a
didn't
good
even
one.
want him. You guys didn't even want him. So like, why are you still mad at him?
Right.
Like, that's the best example I could find. But yeah, it's I don't know. Jackson Arnold,
But to your point, fans have to get used to this. Like, you're gonna have
this is gonna be a regular thing now.
especially at quarterback. Just there's only so many starting jobs, like, and everyone wants to play. So yeah, it's just part of the deal. Clemson falls to Syracuse. I mean, 1-3. Clemson Tigers, man. Preseason national champions by a lot of folks. That's over. They're not winning the national title. They're not going to the ACC title game. They're not going to the college football playoff. It's all bad, Matt Green. I was stunned that Syracuse pounded Clemson the way they did. Fran Brown deserves all the credit in the world, but man, Clemson, it is so bad in Clemson right now. And I mean, they're 96th in first downs, Matt Green, and that's bad. I should also throw out Florida's now 119th in yards per play offensively, just horrific. But Clemson's also just terrible. They can't get first downs. Both quarterbacks are lost right now. Cade Klubnik is just the biggest letdown of all the quarterbacks, I think, going just because he's older. You know, like, everything with all the talent around him this year in particular. I don't know. The Cade stuff is just brutal. Where I mean, if you're a Clemson fan, you're losing your mind because you go back to back with DJU and Cade, right? Like, you had this back to back awesome 5-star luck with Deshaun and Trevor Lawrence. You win titles with both of them, and then you go back to back with 2 more 5-stars with DJ and Cade, and huge busts, both of them, just huge busts. Just a longer bust for Cade Klubnik, where you kept talking yourself into it. You ejected earlier on DJU, but you kept it going a little bit too long with Cade, and now it's just you got to ride it out, man.
You can't put Cade, but you can't put Cade anywhere close to DJU.
DJU, I mean, he went to Notre Dame and smashed Notre Dame years ago. Like,
but that was the
showed
one
life.
year. That was the 1 year as the backup. He looked like he was going to be good, but
Yeah.
no, he was never good, and he wasn't good at Florida State. Cade Klubnik was good last year. Like, he had a good season.
Well, DJU was also good at Oregon State. He was good that year.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine. I forgot about
like
Oregon State. He's all over the place, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. Cade Klubnik, yeah, for being a 5-star, he's definitely disappointing. This team this year is obviously. I'm not just gonna be an indictment on Cade Klubnik's whole career or anything. He's not gonna be the number 1 pick of the draft. That's for sure.
But I mean, it's been I think a hugely underwhelming career. Like, he's been theoretically, I think people have just not been honest about Cade Klubnik. Like, he's just not an elite quarterback and never has been, and he's never developed into it. He was 37 to 60 in this game, 363 yards, 6.1 yards per attempt. I mean, Steve Angeli was a better quarterback in this game.
I will say 36 touchdowns, 6 picks a year ago. Like, he had a big time year.
What was your green line stat of the week?
I mean, that's true. That's not on Cade Klubnik. That's
It's
a
partly on
Clemson.
Cade Klubnik. It's just not all on Cade Klubnik.
No, it's definitely not all on Cade Klubnik. But yeah, I mean, just the way Syracuse just came out too, like they score and then the onside kick, so they're up 10-0 before Clemson's offense ever even sees the field. Like they just brought the energy. Felt like they punched Clemson in the face, and Clemson just was not ready for what Syracuse was bringing. Like honestly, it felt like it was never really close after the end of the first quarter. It was just like Clemson kind of kept trying to battle back, but Syracuse just kept answering. It was this was shocking. Like this was way more shocking than Georgia Tech. Like we're all like Georgia Tech's a sleepy ACC title contender. Like watch out. Like or it's not sleepy but sneaky. Like watch out for Georgia Tech. Like this team could be legit this year. No one was saying that about Syracuse. They lost so much from a year ago. There's no real hype around this team. It's at home. Like this was shocking. Like I think this might be an indictment on Dabo's like whole program at this point. Honestly, like when we talked about the Bama dynasty being over, I feel like this is what people envision. They're like, "What do you mean Bama's not dynasty's not over?" It's like they're winning SEC championships and do whatever. It's like, yeah, but it's so obvious they weren't that same elite of elite that they once were, that just head and shoulders better than everyone. This is what people were kind of envisioning. Like this is legitimately like dynasty over. Like this era of the program might be over. Like Dabo Swinney is like maybe just overstayed his welcome or something. Like I don't know. He might be that level of just like all-time great that he leaves on his terms. He gets to stay at Clemson as long as he wants to. He won 2 championships. You could argue he's earned that, but you know, it's also just I don't know how long Phil Fulmer was at Tennessee, but obviously he was a Tennessee alum, you know, and was there, won a championship and everything. And eventually he was kind of forced out. I don't know if he retired or if he was fired. I can't remember exactly. I think he was just kind of forced out, right? Like these things can happen. So, but yeah, like looking at Clemson, I had the stat earlier, 3-6 in their last 9 games. They're 8-7 versus Power 4 teams since the start of 2024 and 15-11 against Power 4 since the start of 2023. Like that's not bad for a national title contender. We're not talking about Kalen DeBoer burning the whole program down after going 9-3. You know, it's like this is just mediocre for anyone's standards. Like you barely have a winning record. 15-11 over the last 2.5 football seasons against Power 4 competition. Like it's not like we're saying that's not a championship contender. Like that's not a good program at this point. So I don't know how long. Like it's not like they weren't a true like championship contender when Dabo took over, but it's not like they didn't have like a certain like high expectation. You know, it's like the Tommy Bowden years, like they had their years where like they had some top 10 love, you know, it's like the whole Clemsoning thing was like you start a year like 6-0, 7-0, and there's like a lot of promise, then you fall apart. It's like that is the start of that is a lot of promise and like expectations. So I think Clemson isn't just some sort of like, well, they should just be grateful for what Dabo did. Like they are a legitimate football program. And if they're, you know, this is going to be like what the 4th time in the last 5 years or 3rd time in the last 4 years that they're not going to win the ACC. Like they're trending in the wrong direction, clearly. And then it's kind of coupled with, you know, you have a coach that's kind of, you know, hesitant to adapt to these new rules, the new changing landscape of the sport as well. Like that can't be ignored at this point because like you look around all of the programs in college football, there's a lot of impact players. Georgia's best offensive player potentially on this team this year is a guy from the transfer portal. And you could argue their best player on their team last year, and Trevor Etienne was from the transfer portal. So Georgia's recruiting as good as any program in college football, and they still see the value of getting guys out of the transfer portal. Who are you, Dabo Swinney, to turn your nose up? And I know he got a guy last year, but he still has that philosophy. And at some point, you know, you gotta your philosophy is keeping the program down if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how this all plays out. Do they still get to like 8-4, 9-3, 7-5? Like because you're not. I mean, you're riding this out. His buyout's crazy. Like he's not going anywhere. If anything happens, it's Dabo just stepping down. And he talked about it this week. He's what did he say? Not entering his prime, but he's got a lot of coaching years left in his mid 50s. So I don't think Dabo. It's just kind of bizarre. I mean, the defense stinks, and you brought in Tom Allen, who is we thought a good defensive mind. It's just not right. Garrett Riley, well thought of offensive mind. They're just a mystery to me as to why it all just doesn't work and why it's just been such a disaster for Clemson this year. But it's a disaster, and what we thought was going to be the biggest South Carolina Clemson game in a long time, no juice there, I would say, for South Carolina Clemson at the end of the year. That one, I mean, do you even put it on TV? Do you take it off? Like, no, we can't show this. We can't put other folks through this. Other game though, Oklahoma. They survive against Auburn. Matt Green, big win for Oklahoma, and they beat the Tigers 24-17. Great finish once again. Back-to-back years between the Tigers and the Sooners. Crazy controversial call in this game as well. Jackson Arnold does not get revenge in his return to Norman. But what say you about the Sooners getting this dub?
I mean, to start with, you hate to start with the officiating, but everyone's talking about the whole the substitution one where the SEC released the statement. I don't think enough people are talking about the scoop and score that was overturned. Like that first touchdown Auburn scored, like that's clearly a catch. If you're playing football with your friends in the backyard, like dude caught it. We're not going to bail you out with some sort of elaborate definition on what a catch is. You know it when you see it. Dude goes up, catches it, gets 2 feet. He's tucking it away. That's got to be the football move, right? Taking a third step, and then Auburn dude just strips it. Like I felt like that was so obviously a catch and a fumble, and that's 7-0 Auburn early. You add that with because we've seen this play for years. Like maybe it's some high school type stuff of going to the sideline, but he doesn't sub out. I didn't know that was actually a penalty until the rules expert was saying it should be a 15-yard penalty. So like the fact that that's even a rule is like, okay, well, that's what happened then. So I don't know why that's not like a reviewable thing or whatever. But it's like that's 10-10 at halftime when Auburn legitimately, like you could argue, should be up, 17-3 at that point. So I feel bad for Auburn when it comes to that. It felt like these two teams. I mean, it's hard to say that the defenses are the same. Both these defenses looked really good, but this Oklahoma defense, I mean, 10 sacks, like they were just bringing it. Jackson Arnold, did he have a game where he got sacked 10 times last year? Just brutal. Was it the Tennessee game? Did he ever get sacked?
He got sacked a lot. I mean, he got benched, so
he got benched at halftime of that one, so he probably didn't make it to 10.
But it's also because he holds the ball forever. Like Auburn actually pass block pretty well. Like he holds the ball. Like they were showing it like on the broadcast 4 seconds, and he's taking sacks. Like he and Dylan Raiola are in this never-ending competition to see who can take the most amount of sacks. Where it's just they run around, they just don't throw the ball away. They just take sacks. And the thing is, though, when you look at the stat line for Auburn receivers, like I will say, we're ragging on Arnold. Arnold's not good, but Arnold is better than Peyton Thorne from a year ago. Like he is an upgrade there. So we should be like, we got to be fair. Call balls and strikes here. He is better. He's not a turnover machine. He's not costing the game. He didn't win them the game. He wasn't someone who was going to guide them down and make the play and make that kind of drive. Nobody had any faith that he was going to do that when they started deep in their own territory late in that game. But I mean, he was 21 of 32, 220, 6.9 yards per attempt, touchdown, no picks. Like he was fine. And then you look at the stats. Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton both had what you want as your top two receivers. 3 for 88, touchdown for Coleman, 9 for 60.
That is not what you want, Cam Coleman. You want Cam Coleman to have 8 catches for
against
whatever.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got maybe a top 5 defense. That's a good day against Oklahoma. Like Oklahoma's got one.
Cam Coleman is next to Jeremiah Smith the best receiver in college football. Like this dude is unguardable, and that's
fine. I agree with all that.
Time they threw it to him, basically.
But I will say, Auburn's passing offense still has a lot of work to get done. But I'm more curious about OU. So OU's defense, scary good. They're one of the best in the SEC, one of the best in the country. I will say, Jaden Ott. What did I say all offseason? Where people were really talking up Jaden Ott coming in from Cal, spring portal, and it's like, oh. Got Jaden Ott too. This isn't fair. Getting John Mateer, Jaden Ott. Man, look out. this combination. I'm like, Jaden Ott was not good at Cal last year. Like, this is not like, you're not getting 23 Jaden Ott, and he did nothing in this game. You look at his stats, he's done nothing through 4 weeks for Oklahoma. Oklahoma ran the ball 24 times for 35 yards. Their lead back in this game was John Mateer. Again, 10 carries for 29 yards, 2.9 yards per attempt. Torrey Blaylock had to play a bunch, 11 carries, 13 yards. Like, they can't run the ball at all. Like, there is no running game whatsoever with Oklahoma. Mateer is a good player. Like, I should say great player. John Mateer is a great player. But, man, I don't know about this rushing attack. I do know the defense is legit. I do know Mateer is legit. But, yeah, I don't know. OU is now number 1 in third down defense in FBS. They've only allowed 10 of 57 opportunities. They're tied for first in sacks. Oklahoma's defense, Brent Venables calling plays now. Like, that defense, Oklahoma's a complete dangerous team. Like, they are legit. No, we'll talk about like some teams who are getting the same level of love as some other ones, like A&M. Like, get out of here with this. Like, Oklahoma's a much better team than Texas A&M right now. Like, Texas A&M stuff, we'll get into it because I have a grinds my gear part on that. But yeah, Oklahoma, very impressive. And if you're an Auburn fan, you're just like, if you had told me 3 years in that the main issue with the Hugh Freeze era be, why can't we have good quarterback play or great quarterback play? And they'd be like, no way. That's what we're most annoyed about. Because Auburn's defense, like you said, really good. The receivers, really good. The offensive line was good in this game. It's just the quarterback. The quarterback is not good. I don't think they have a lot of juice running the football either. So I don't think they have a lot of Cobb's all right, but they don't have a lot of big time juice there. But I don't know. Yeah, Auburn. If I'm an Auburn fan, I'm losing my mind because we feel very complete. Just we refuse to address the quarterback stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think the 10 sacks is kind of like stole the show that Oklahoma's defense was balling out. Like, Auburn's defense did every bit as much as Oklahoma's defense, just not sacking the quarterback. Like, they looked really good in this game. And like, it's not like John Mateer was just tearing them up in this game. Like, I think John Mateer is a really good quarterback, but 24-17, they were getting a lot of stops. And like you said, the rushing numbers, 24 for 35 on the ground. Like, they shut that down. So Jeremiah Cobb 6 for 61. Maybe he should have gotten the ball more. Even Damari Alston 7 for 25. Like, if Jackson Arnold 20 for -11 is not what you want. Obviously sacks are involved in that. So who knows what the sack numbers are? I mean, that could have been negative 40 yards there when it comes to just sacks. So he's able to run the ball well, but it's like when you get in that 2-minute offense at the end of the game, it's like when all he can do is kind of scramble and pick up 5-6 yards. You need someone who can get the ball to Cam Coleman. Like, dude is just different, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see on Auburn, but Auburn's not a dumpster fire. So I think Hugh Freeze, as long as he gets to like 7-ish wins, I think he gets another year. Like, I think Hugh Freeze is trending because there's a lot of stuff going right. Florida's the dumpster fire right now. Yeah. To me, Florida's the one of the three. Like, Venables is going to be okay. I think Freeze is going to be okay. Napier, I would say no. But
well, here, before we move on from Oklahoma, this is my take on Oklahoma. I think everyone has been overlooking the October 11th matchup. Like, with all the games that have been circled in this college football season, Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, whatever game you want to talk about, it feels like Alabama. It feels like Oklahoma, Texas has not gotten nearly enough talk. Like, right now, Oklahoma feels like the team that Texas was supposed to be in 2025. Like, that's and that's not saying like John Mateer is the Heisman or anything right now. This offense didn't just go off against Auburn or anything, but just with what this defense is and what they're getting out of the quarterback position, Oklahoma feels like a more legit contender than Texas right now. So I'm excited for the Red River Shootout this year.
Arch did look a little bit better this week against one of the worst teams in FBS, but
yeah,
progress.
He's got that going for him.
Michigan goes to Nebraska, beats the Huskers. The Huskers cannot beat a ranked team once again. It felt weird because it felt like Nebraska was ranked coming in and Michigan wasn't. I don't know how to explain this, but did it feel like that to you where it's like, I didn't think of Michigan as a top 25 team coming into this game, and it felt like all the buzz was Nebraska has been kind of anointed as a top 25 team. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like I said in week 1, I was like, I think Cincinnati's better. And Cincinnati, Brendan Sorsby has been one of the top 25, top 20 quarterbacks in the country when you look at most stats. And Cincinnati, I think, is a pretty solid team for Satterfield and company. But yeah, Nebraska's just still theoretical, Matt Green. Like, this was still Michigan just went in and out physicaled Nebraska and took care of business. You talk about that big Underwood run, but Michigan beat Nebraska with no receivers. Like, Michigan has some of the worst receiving core of any like really good team in FBS, I think, anywhere. Like, the Michigan receivers are terrible. Like, they've got to be really active in the portal this cycle to address. I mean, they didn't even have their coach, and they go to Nebraska win this game. I mean, it's Biff Poggi in this game. So that's another underrated part, is like, they had an interim and they just go in and beat Nebraska. This was Nebraska's big shot. They didn't do it. I mean, I don't know. Michigan can run the heck out of the ball. Justice Haynes, breakouts are for them, but they have multiple guys who can maneuver in the running game. And Michigan's rushing attack's really strong. They're 8th in rushing yards per attempt nationally. Dylan Raiola, 46th in yards per attempt among qualified quarterbacks. And he's still not there, Matt Green. Dylan Raiola just still feels a long way from being one of the elite quarterbacks in the sport. I mean, not even one of the best in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you look at his numbers, 30 of 41, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Like, it looks like he played really well, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like when I was watching this game, like, I never thought this offense looked good. Like, I never thought like this passing game just looked like, so I don't know, that maybe that's just, anecdotal. Obviously part of that's the Hail Mary. I don't know, what was that, like 60 yards, 50 yards. So maybe, I'm being a hater. If you take that out, if you take out the best throw, then his stats don't look as good, but yeah, I don't know. There's just like you're saying, there's like no juice. There's just, I don't know. Nebraska, it felt like this was a golden opportunity for them. Like, you're getting Michigan at home with a true freshman quarterback, even if he is like a future superstar. This feels like kind of Michigan isn't where they've been in recent years. Maybe they're better than they were a year ago. But I mean, if you beat this game, you start playing the win-loss schedule game. Like, Nebraska would have been favored all the way to like week 8, week 9 or something if they win this Michigan game. But I don't know. I think they're so clearly not legit, even though we all wanted them to be, I guess.
And they're not bad. They're just not great. They'll get a ranked win at some point. Like, they're still trending in the right direction. They're just not close. And Dylan Raiola is just not.
Will they get a ranked win? I mean, how many teams will be ranked on their schedule other than Penn State? Like, they're not beating Penn State at Penn State.
No.
Like, USC is currently ranked. Like, I don't know. I'm probably not projecting them.
Is Maryland going to be ranked?
I guess that's possible. That's a couple weeks from now. So I guess it depends. I don't know how many
they could beat USC at home.
Yeah, they could. Maryland looks like they're around 29, 30, if I were to count, in the AP poll, getting votes right now. So maybe Maryland sneaks in there. Yeah. But if they sneak in there, do you think Nebraska's going to beat them? I don't know.
It's a good question that I don't know. Indiana pounded Illinois. That was the stunner of the weekend, 63-10. Illinois gets absolutely drubbed. They'll never be ranked in the top 10 again in our lifetime, Matt Green. They'll be perpetually just kicked out. Sorry, not allowed. We let you in this once, and sorry, just absolute shellacking by the Hoosiers. The worst thing of all time happening here. Indiana and Curt Cignetti grow even stronger, Matt Green. And now they may even schedule weaker after this win. Just be like, hey, yeah, you see, you doubt us, and that hey, you know what? We're going to add even more bye games onto our calendar. We don't even know how many we can do. Whatever the maximum is, we're going to try and make the schedule as easy as possible, because we show up when it counts, and we just beat the living crap out of the number 9 team in the country. But I mean, it was impressive. Fernando Mendoza is a really good quarterback. He is a really good college quarterback. That was a sneaky important addition. It's an upgrade over Curtis Rourke last year. Good receivers. They're well coached. Like, Indiana's got a great staff. They're a good team. It's just how they schedule just annoys the heck out of me. But I do think they're a team on the rise. And
it only annoys me with how much the coach talks. It's like you gotta schedule hard if you're gonna talk hard. Like, what are you doing?
But he backed it up this week again. Like, Indiana, I mean, Curt Cignetti, I don't think people understand. Indiana is a terrible job. It's a terrible power 2 job. And he has made that thing flip overnight. Like it's an unreal start for him at in Hoosier country, because you just look, no one's been able to figure out Hoosier football, especially as fast as Kurt Cignetti has. So he deserves all the credit in the world, because that is a gigantic win for the Hoosiers on Saturday. But what did you make of the blowout victory over the Illini?
Yeah, I think I feel dumb for sleeping on Indiana after what they were a year ago. Illinois, I feel like we just wanted them to be this year's Indiana, but Indiana reminded us all of how much better they are. I thought Fernando Mendoza was channeling his inner Grayson Lambert there for a second. 21 of 23, almost perfect. I guess, does Lambert still have that record? What was it, like 25 of 26 or something that game?
That's a good question.
That one time. But yeah, it was basically perfect. 5 touchdowns, no picks, ran for 300 yards. Illinois ran for 2. So the fact that you were dominating offensively and defensively, and you held the opposing quarterback to under 150 yards, it was just domination. 63-10. That's just Georgia TCU type stuff.
So from the second quarter on, this is bonkers. IU drives. Here you go. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Third quarter. Touchdown, touchdown. Fourth quarter. Touchdown, touchdown. End of game.
Yeah, domination.
It was just a souped up version of what Vanderbilt did on the road at Virginia Tech a couple weeks prior. But it was, that was unbelievable. Cignetti after the game said we broke their will, and he's not wrong. I'm just sick to my stomach if I'm Bielema, because now, your season's not over. You can still fight through. You're not out of the playoff race. You can only one more game now, of course, if you're Illinois. But the season's not over. They're still a good team. But man, that is just, how do you get off the mat if you're Illinois? I'm very curious to see what Illinois looks like after this game, because man, brutal.
Yeah, and then they got USC coming to Illinois this week. So, and it's not like we don't know exactly how good USC is yet, but I don't know. After getting just abused like that, it's hard to see them being a good team this year. Yeah, maybe mathematically they're not eliminated, but I feel like they are. This team, you don't win anything in a year where you lose a game 63-10. I don't know.
Can I make the point now? I think Utah is the Vanderbilt of the Big 12, Matt Green.
What does it mean to be the Vanderbilt of the Big 12? I feel like we do have to have a new definition of Vanderbilt with what they are these days?
No, because Vanderbilt's never won the SEC. So it's one of those deals where it's Vanderbilt is
Utah's never winning the Big 12?
No, I think it's over. I think Utah is now at a point where they have multiple guys who play both ways, and they don't recruit an elite level. They're one of the weakest teams in recruiting in the Big 12. They dominated the Pac-12, right? We grew up on good Urban Meyer and then Whittingham, Alex Smith, great Utah football. And Cam Rising kept them going when he was healthy a little bit. But I think Devin Dampier is a good player. But you saw Texas Tech just pulverize. It felt like an SEC versus Big 12 game in a lot of ways. Texas Tech kind of looks like, who do they, maybe Auburn in some ways. I think they kind of, maybe even Oklahoma in some ways too. Texas Tech just looked like an SEC team when I was watching that game, and the way they pulverize them, and they lose their quarterback. And this one, the backup might be better, Hammond, than Morton. So I don't really know if that will end up being a tough loss for Texas Tech if they have to go to Hammond longer, because he's a good player, blue chip quarterback. But yeah, I don't know. Utah is I just think it's a lot harder of a job than I think people give it credit for in 2025. BYU's got a lot more juice than Utah at this point. I look at it in terms of Vanderbilt's a good things are going well. Utah has a great start to the year, but I think they're an 8-4, 9-3 team if all things go well now. I don't think they're
not Vanderbilt historically.
Vanderbilt, I think it's an 8-4 team.
I would say you're describing Ole Miss. They're the Ole Miss of the Big 12, because Ole Miss has never won the SEC. So, right? They've never won the SEC championship.
Yeah, they've never won
since it's been a game, since it's been an actual game. Obviously, back in the day. Well, they may have. I don't even know if they won the SEC with Archie back in the day, but
I don't think Ole Miss has ever won the SEC, but I could be wrong.
Just period. I know they've never played for the SEC championship game, but yeah, because I feel
The
like
earliest I'm seeing here is 1963, but
they're claiming SEC title 63. You're saying
that's what it seems like.
And so yeah, that's a long time ago.
If you're not in my dad's lifetime, then doesn't count.
I can't put Utah in that can't win the Big 12. Like with how they dominated I would say better competition in the Pac-12. Like, I don't know. Obviously this is a new era with NIL and stuff like that. So maybe they're just not going to keep up. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, they had two blue. Okay. So in 2026 right now, Texas Tech is number 1 in recruiting in the Big 12. BYU's number 2. Like what I said, BYU's got 5 blue chippers, 1 5-star. Texas Tech has 1 5-star, 5 4-stars. You look at Utah way down here at 8. Like Utah's got 2 blue chip players in that class. 2. And then you go to, let's see here. I'm going to go back to 2025 and I want to go pull up Big 12. Let's see where they are. They are considered fifth. They had 1 blue chip player last cycle. 1.
But in a conference where the most blue chip the team with the most blue chippers has like 5 or 6, it's like that's not, it's not the same sort of gap.
I don't know, man. I just think that was kind of, if I'm a Utah fan, with where Texas Tech is going as a program and where we're going, scares me a little bit because I think Texas Tech is really, really serious about this thing. And if I'm Utah, I'm like, wow, we got some work to do. Like, I don't think Utah is a scary team coming out of that game at all. I don't think anyone in the Big 12, at top of the Big 12, is scared of Utah, and anyone around the country. They used to be really, really good, and I just feel like they're not an A. I don't think they can get to an A anymore. I think that they can get to like a B and B plus. I don't think they can get to an A. They were never an A plus. Like that's premier stuff.
I mean, that's probably fair, especially if Texas Tech is like, kind of taking their NIL stuff to the next level.
So is BYU though. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, obviously there's reason to worry about the future, but also Dampier, is he a freshman? He's at least a first year starter.
No, he's a second year. I mean, he parlayed his freshman year at New Mexico to Utah. He came in with
first year. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so I don't know. He still is an inexperienced kind of dude. So I feel like he's looked like a baller at times.
I like Dampier.
So
it was a bad game on Saturday.
I'm not gonna rule out like what they could be like next year or whatever. Like I don't know much longer Whittingham is gonna be there. So
yeah,
dude's been there like 20 years at this point. So I mean, yeah, I don't know who the next guy is, but I mean, when they go from Urban Meyer to Whittingham, so it's not like you should probably trust Utah to continue to get the next guy that can fit there. So I don't know. I'm not ruling out Utah ever winning the Big 12. I'll just put it that way.
Maybe. I would feel a little bit anxious if I'm a Utah fan watching how that game unfolded. Like it's kind of one of those, because the stark contrast to me would just be a little concerning. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
See. Matt Green. Because I was going to pull this up real quick. Hold on. I wanted to see this real quick. Yeah, they went 8-5, or they went 5-7 last year, 8-5 in 23. So they haven't had a 10-win season since 22. But again, we'll see. The Big 12 has not gotten off to a great start for Kyle Whittingham and his team. Like I wonder if their best days were in the Pac-12, as I guess to put a bow on all of it. Not a great start to the Big 12 era for Utah. Biggest pretender through 4 games is who? Because I have Texas A&M, Matt Green. The amount of people that put Texas A&M in their CFP right now and are all over Texas A&M is just mind-boggling to me. Do you share that? Because like I think it was a good winning at Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's defense is terrible. Like we have another week of evidence where Purdue was. Did you see that play where they pitched it to the running back and then their quarterback ran out of the back?
It was like the sickest play I've ever seen. Yeah. That was amazing.
Notre Dame's pass defense is atrocious. Like Notre Dame's got real problems with their defense. Miami torched them. Texas A&M torched them. But also Marcel Reed was all over the place in that game. I don't know how anyone's just like super confident about like Marcel Reed and A&M's defense and their quarterback play week to week. Like I understand they're there in the blue chip ratio, and I do like a lot of the talent. I think they're well coached in a lot of ways. But man, I think they're the biggest pretender thus far. People are setting themselves up for the A&M heartbreak all over again. And I don't know. I just think of all the biggest pretenders, I was thinking about this. It's A&M through 4 weeks to me, because I think people are really Oklahoma is who people think A&M is. Oklahoma's got a top 5 defense. I trust Brent Venables more than I trust Bateman and Elko to this point. Like I'm putting way more stock into what Oklahoma is, especially on third downs and everything else. They're legit. Like, no one's dropping 38, 35 points on Oklahoma's defense right now. Like, Tennessee's going to have some problems when Oklahoma comes to Knoxville here in a couple months. Like, Oklahoma is what people are talking about nationally with A&M. I'm like, who do you want more, Marcel Reed or John Mateer? I want John Mateer. Who do you want more, the Oklahoma defense or the Texas A&M defense? I'm like, Oklahoma defense, and no question.
In fairness, Oklahoma's ranked 7 right now, and A&M's ranked 9. So it's like, I don't think those are mutually exclusive.
I just don't think A&M's a top 10 team. I don't think they should be in the top 10 right now.
Also, like, why do you think Notre Dame is so bad? Like,
I don't think their offense is...
They played Miami close. Like, Miami looks like maybe the best team in college football, right?
No, I think Notre Dame's offense is good. I think CJ Carr's a good player. I think their defense is really bad. And I don't think the defense is getting fixed this year. Like, the defense has some real problems. So I think lighting up Notre Dame's defense is nothing special. Like, Purdue has one of the worst rosters in the Power 2. And
that could be. I think you just look at Marcel Reed. Like, I think we all had an idea of what Marcel Reed was. And my comparison is like best case scenario, he's Jalen Hurts. And he's just a game manager who's an amazing athlete and can make plays with his legs. He obviously he went, I think 17 of 37, I think were the numbers against Notre Dame. Like, it's not a good percentage, but he did throw for like 350 yards. Like, they were making big plays through the air in that game. So I don't know. I'm definitely not selling A&M stock right now. I guess I was kind of buying it early as well, though. So, I'm feeling good about kind of what my vibes were on Texas A&M. I would say LSU is the biggest pretender of the group in the top 10 right now, because each week that goes by, Clemson looks worse and worse. And what was that, 14-7? Like,
yeah,
it's not like you looked good against Clemson, a team that Syracuse just absolutely dominated this past week, who Georgia Tech was moving the ball all over. So Florida, yeah, the defense looks really good through the first 4 weeks, but they lost to South Florida also. That's not necessarily a good win. Like, through the first 3 games, I was saying LSU had as impressive of a resume in college football. Now I'm not sure how I feel. So if one of these teams is fraudulent, I feel like LSU seems the most likely. Like, I think Oklahoma could lose 3 or 4 games and not actually be fraudulent. Their schedule is just ridiculous. So LSU, I think the jury might still be out on them.
I'm with you on LSU too. And I just looked it up. Notre Dame is 132nd in passing yards allowed per game right now. They're giving up almost
partly because they got
yards
torched by Marcel Reed, though. It's like that's baked.
I mean, they got torched by Ryan Brown from Purdue this week.
I mean, that's fair, but I don't know. I'm not selling A&M right now. Who's A&M? Did A&M have Auburn this week?
Yes.
So that'll be an interesting one with comparing them to Oklahoma, seeing them play Auburn at home as well. This is going to be in College Station.
That game was awesome last year because it was in Auburn, and I remember it was the crazy wasn't it like 6-7 overtimes where it was on super late at night and was going back and forth, and it seemed like nobody wanted to win that game.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think that's the game that I think put Georgia back in the SEC title. Like, because that was the same week as Oklahoma, Alabama, and then I think A&M and Auburn. I want to say those were the same day. It was just like massive upsets. Yeah, that was the second to last week of the season. 4 overtimes, 43-41.
Hot seat rankings, Matt Green. So you put a bow on this week. Napier, Pittman, Mike Gundy, who we even talked about, losing to Tulsa at home. Just brutal.
Oh, man.
On Friday night. And then Dabo Swinney, just 1-3. How would you rank the hot seat for the 4 of them right now?
I would say Gundy is interesting. Gundy and Swinney, like, I feel like Dabo's on his terms. You're talking buyout stuff. Like, I don't even know the numbers as far as that goes, but
he's like 60 something, I think.
Yeah, so that's probably not happening anytime soon. They're just going to be they're just gonna be like mad about it. Like, I don't know. Maybe if they're like the relationships should go south, he just bounces. But Napier, I feel like it's done. Like, I don't know. I feel like this team, I would not say they quit. They, even though they got off to the bad start, like they played Miami really tough. Like, and they showed like fight in the third quarter. It looked like they were gonna kind of swing that game once after that interception. But I don't know. I think this team has a lot of quit potential. And who is it this week that they play? Is it Tech? They don't play Texas this week. They have a bye. Does Florida have a bye week this week?
Isn't it LSU?
No, they already played LSU.
Or not LSU. Who does Florida have? They have Texas next week. They have a bye, and then
they do have a bye, and then Texas, and then A&M.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels like this team is just kind of done. I mean, at this point, I guess I don't know that Texas is going to beat them in the Swamp. I might pick Florida to win that game, and maybe that kind of. I mean, Texas does not look good right now. Was Arch going into the Swamp? Do you feel good about that? Going to a hostile environment?
I mean, I just think Florida is just done.
Is it a hostile environment that they go into, or is it just is it 3/4 full or 2/3 full?
No, they're still gonna light it up. No,
I don't know. I think he's clearly got the number one. Napier is clearly like he's not
number one to me, Matt Green.
There's 0% chance Napier is the head coach in 2026.
I don't disagree, but I'll make a prediction here. I think Sam Pittman is let go before Billy Napier this year. And I think because you want to give Bobby Petrino more runway here. Because Taylor Green in the offense, although they were stifled in the second half against Memphis, Taylor Green's having a great year. The defense has been atrocious. Like, the defense is the problem with Arkansas this year. And there has to be juice in terms of like giving Bobby Petrino the keys one more time to see what he can do here. Because, I mean, he hasn't forgotten how to call plays, man. Like, Bobby Petrino is still one of the best offensive minds in the sport. Like, you kind of want to see if he can change some stuff here in the second half of the year. That'd be the most Tennessee thing ever, though, by the way, if they fire Pittman and then it's Bobby Petrino, interim coach, coming into Knoxville. Oh, God, that would be horrific. Situation like that, and he beats Tennessee as interim coach. But, yeah, I think my prediction is, because you actually have a good option. Who's the option in Florida? Because I guess you go DC, but I mean, I don't really know what you do there in terms of who you make the interim to keep everybody happy. And the offense is a train wreck. So I don't know. I think I can just see
an important factor in firing a coach.
Well, I think with where we're at now in NIL and the portal and everything, I think you want to drag it out as long as you can if you can. But I also just kind of wonder with Arkansas, because you have a natural, hey, we can still salvage the year type of deal. Like, you can sell that to the fans and keep coming to the stadium and everything else. I think Florida is a little bit more difficult, just based on the circumstances with their staff. If you're an Arkansas fan, you could easily talk yourself into like, oh yeah, let's see if Petrino can flip this thing in the second half of the year.
Well, but see, that's why I would think Pittman is safer, because Arkansas's like goals are making a bowl and like winning 7 games.
Well, no, you want to see if Petrino can be the guy, and you give him the second half of the season to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Sam Pittman, being a Georgia guy and everything, but it's so weird because it's like I wouldn't say they're a poorly coached team, but it seems like when you have the same problems over and over, what else can you call it other than being a poorly coached team? Like, this felt like exactly like that Oklahoma State game a year ago, where they just dominated like the first 2 quarters of the game. And I think Oklahoma State had like a pick 6 and maybe like a blocked field goal they returned for a touchdown, doing some like fluky stuff. And it's like you look up and you're up by like a touchdown, and then you just allow teams to stay in games, and you find a way to lose, basically. I will say they went up 28-10 second quarter. One of the worst missed offensive pass interference calls you'll ever see. On that long touchdown Memphis had in the second quarter, like near halftime, make it 28-17. They even called it defensive pass interference, just like a straight 2-hand shove, and then caught it. But obviously, that's not the reason they lost the game. You fumble inside your own 10-yard line, when you're basically just trying to set up a game-winning field goal. Like, just, I don't know. Every Arkansas game seems to come down like this. Obviously, they showed how the Ole Miss game ended a week ago with the fumble on that final drive. Like, I don't know. It's hard to blame Sam Pittman, but when your team keeps making the same mistakes, at some point you got to look at the coaching.
That's fair. Well, that's all I've got, Matt Green. Anything else you want to throw out here on our week 4 reaction show that we missed?
Every year we talk about who the preseason top 10 team is going to be that ends up unranked. And I don't know that they were top 10. And I guess Clemson is that one this year right
it's
now.
Clemson, yeah.
But they weren't top 10, but we should have all known better with the South Carolina Gamecocks. Sir. I even told you before the season, like having these lists with Lenore Sellers near the top, it was just like, Lenore Sellers in South Carolina just really good at being the underdog and being the under the radar team. You just can't trust South Carolina as the preseason favorite. Like it just Lenore Sellers on that one drive I feel like just kind of summed up like kind of how I feel about Lenore Sellers.
But I don't even put that on Lenore Sellers. Like he was okay. They can't run the football, Matt. They're one of the worst teams in the country in running the ball. Like they're horrific running the football.
But you remember that those 2 plays where it was 2nd and 4, he loses 21 yards.
Yeah.
And then on 3rd and 35, he picks up, or whatever it was, he picks up 32 yards or something. It was just, he makes all kinds of plays, but I feel like he's just, you can't trust him. I don't know. You can't trust South Carolina. Like Missouri looks legit. Missouri's run game looks legit. I'm really excited for. We'll obviously get into week 5 next week. Is it week 5 already? Yep. But I think the Carson Beck Gunnar Stockton thing might be a storyline this year. But that's not a real storyline because Carson Beck was going to go pro, then goes to Miami. The real storyline is Bo Pribula or Drew Aller. Like Bo Pribula might legitimately just be better than Drew Aller. So I'm curious to see what we're talking about with Penn State, Oregon after this week.
It's true. Well, Matt Green, that's all I've got. And also, shout out to Mizzou. Like, they deserve credit for how good of a job they do in the portal, man. Like, Ahmed Hardy, what was his name? Cody Schrader, a couple of years ago. They know what they're doing when they're looking for overlooked tailbacks because Hardy runs with purpose, man. Like, he's a dog. And Bo Pribula is legitimately good. Bo Pribula, if you're a Penn State fan, I wonder if you're sweating a little bit.
You got to, man. You have to. Like, they haven't played anyone to this point, so you don't want to overreact. But
Bo Pribula, man, he looks good.
Bo Pribula looks like Trace McSorley. That's what he looks like.
Maybe you should have kicked Drew Aller to the curb, and it should have been Pribula's team.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way because Drew Aller looks like every other quarterback they have.
Yeah, I don't know. Pribula is really good. He just said, like, Aller obviously more NFL guy, but like winning college football games, just the point.
Yeah,
I go Pribula.
I'm going Trace McSorley if I'm a Penn State fan. He won more games. You know, who cares about pro prospects? I want a guy who's a college, who's a winner.
Yeah. Well, that's all I've got, Matt Green. Make sure you go check out Georgia Voice College Football for all of his coverage. Big week over there with Alabama. So for all the Georgia folks tuning in here, make sure you lock in with Matt and Bo as they preview and get ready for that big game on Saturday night in Athens, Tennessee. All kinds of great Tennessee coverage on my end as well with a big road game to Stark Vegas against those other Bulldogs. Hopefully a better result against this brand of Bulldogs, but we'll see. Matt Green, always a pleasure, and I will talk to you again in a couple days.
Yes, sir.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.